And Gabby Williams were slow to get up after a collision underneath the basket. Here's what happened.
Oh, that is a major collision for the two of them. They both knock heads. It took them both some time to get to their feet.
Lexie Hull took a brutal hit that had fans fearing her night was done. Minutes later, she was back on the court with a knot on her forehead, diving for rebounds like it was nothing. That single moment revealed everything about what this Indiana Fever team is made of. They stepped into Nike's big Caitlin Clark celebration night missing Clark and half their guards, and still walked away with a season-defining win over the Seattle Storm. So how did Hull, Aliyah Boston, Odyssey Sims, and Kelsey Mitchell completely flip the Fever's narrative in one night? And what did Boston say that has the entire locker room fired up? If you're a Fever fan, drop a comment saying, "I've got the Fever, let's go."
Woo! First home game, got a dub, let's get it.
Big dub. Let's go.
Fever dub, Woo! Dubs. It's giving.
Indiana's challenges started well before tip-off. Caitlin Clark was still sidelined with a groin injury that had kept her out since mid-July. Joining her on the injured list were Sophie Cunningham, Ari McDonald, and Sydney Carlson, all dealing with season-ending setbacks, while Chloe Bai was still managing knee discomfort. That left the Fever without most of their guard rotation, forcing the bench to stretch thin and the starters to log heavy minutes on a night that was already critical.
AB's been the one that's been most affected by all of our injuries. You know, all of the point guards that know how to get her the ball and how they get it to her. And it's not just getting her the ball, it's where you get it to her. You know, getting it to her on time, on target, you know, thinking one pass ahead, you know, all that matters. And I thought today, her aggressiveness with the ball in her hands to the rim, getting into defenders, playing low to high instead of high to low. When she plays like that, you know, there's nobody that can stop her. And, you know, she set the tone for us, really on both ends. You know, she had the NECA assignment as well and set the tone for us on both ends. And, you know, she was terrific.
Still, the energy inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse told a different story before the tip-off. Caitlin Clark's new Nike logo reveal had turned the arena into a full-blown celebration, with banners draped across railings, promotional shirts filling the stands, and fans lining up to snap selfies against branded backdrops. The night was clearly centered on Clark's superstardom and her influence as both a player and cultural icon. The irony was sharp. Clark herself stayed on the sidelines, watching from courtside, while her teammates fought to keep the Fever's playoff hopes alive.
Aliyah, this is a string of games, beginning of a string of games against the teams you're competing for a playoff spot against. Did this game feel more important in that regard? And I guess how big was it to get a win in this one?
Yeah, I mean, going into this game, we talked about that this was going to be a big game for us, considering the standings where Seattle was. But, you know, going into the West Coast trip, I mean, right now we're just going to be focused on LA. That's kind of been our motto this entire season, is just focus on the game ahead of you, be where your feet are. And so starting tomorrow, we're going to be looking at LA. But, I mean, this next string of games definitely important for us, but we got to take it one.
On the court, the challenge was obvious. Without Clark's outside shooting to stretch the defense and missing several veteran ball handlers to steady the offense, Indiana had to lean on inside scoring and rebounding just to stay in the game. Seattle, with their veteran core aiming to secure playoff positioning, looked like the perfect team to exploit Indiana's short rotation. Most fans in the arena expected little more than a close contest at best.
Feels good. Got the pants, got the charms, necklace, zipper, everything.
Still, the Fever played with a different energy. Rather than letting injuries and the Clark-focused celebrations dominate the night, they treated it as a test of toughness. Every defensive rotation was crisper, every box out came with extra force. The crowd, charged by Clark's off-court presence but searching for heroes on the floor, began rallying behind the team's effort. In that tense, high-pressure moment, the defining play of the night unfolded, a single collision that showcased all of Indiana's resilience.
It's special. I mean, you know, there's very few people who get the opportunity to say that they have a logo and to make the impact that she makes, not just, I think, in the sport, but globally, just by being who she is. She's a connector. She brings people together. And, you know, I think for us to be a part of that, and whether it's, you know, as simple as being able to celebrate all of these things with her, or, as much as walking out into the arena and seeing the whiteout on the chairs out there. It's really cool, and it's really special and shoot, I'm talking about it right now, and just feeling the intense gratitude for me personally, being in women's basketball, to be able to be a part of this moment, and to celebrate with her.
It all happened in the first quarter. Lexie Hull and Gabby Williams chased a loose ball under the basket. When their heads collided with a sharp crash, both went down. The sound echoing through the arena, Williams stayed on the bench, but Hull headed to the locker room, clutching her forehead. Cameras immediately caught the swelling, a bump that made fans at home. And in Gainbridge Fieldhouse wince, the crowd went quiet. Losing Hull on top of 5 other injured teammates felt like it could be the breaking point.
And Gabby Williams were slow to get up after a collision underneath the basket. Here's what happened.
Oh, that is a major collision for the two of them. They both knock heads. It took them both some time to get to their feet.
Fans assumed that was the end of her night. There's no way someone takes a hit like that and comes back, especially with a swelling knot on their head. But Hull isn't a flashy scorer, she's the player who keeps a depleted Indiana roster running. She locks down the league's top guards, hustles for every 50-50th ball, and brings energy that lifts the whole team. Without her, Indiana's perimeter defense would be even more exposed. Everyone in the arena knew it. The collective thought was simple: if she's out, how could they possibly survive?
Happened on that play.
Well, I didn't know exactly what happened when it happened. It was kind of just like a clash. But looking at the video, it just, Gabby and I ran into each other. Unlucky. I think we both have knots on our heads, so we both kept playing, so it's all right.
Were you pretty dazed when you...
Yeah, I think it's more of like what just happened, big collision. I just need some time. Felt my face, felt a growing knot, so that doesn't feel...
Minutes ticked by, and then, almost out of nowhere, Hull returned to the court. The swelling was obvious, but she stepped in with the same intensity as before. Her very first possession set it all. She dove for a loose ball like nothing had happened. The crowd erupted, standing to cheer her return. What seemed like the end of her night became the spark of the evening. Hull later admitted she felt disoriented after the collision. Yet she still played heavy minutes. She even joked that everyone kept telling her she looked beautiful despite the massive bump on her forehead.
Storm basketball. Debut starters, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexie Hull. Second for the floor.
Hull's choice to keep battling quickly spread through the team. The bench noticed, the starters noticed, and Aliyah Boston made it clear afterward. She called Hull the definition of toughness. It wasn't just praise, it gave a name to the identity the Fever displayed that night.
Back on the bench, was everybody just kind of staring at your forehead directly?
I knew yeah. Everyone's like, you look beautiful. I was like, I know I look insane. But it honestly looks better now than it did when it first happened, so hopefully this goes down quick.
Did you glance up at the video board to see it? Did you get a look at it?
No, I could see it looking out. I could see it just from my own eyes. So I didn't need to look anywhere. I knew it was going to be big.
No way. So it's in your peripheral vision?
Yes. It was literally sticking out. I mean, it's still big right here, but it was bigger and I could see it. So they brought it down a little.
Your teammates, your coach, the GM, everybody's just kind of talking about your toughness, I guess. So there's not really a good way to ask that question, but if you could just talk to me about that toughness and where that comes from.
I mean, if I can play, if I feel like I can play, whether or not I look good or not isn't the problem. So, I think for me, it's just the team is the most important thing, getting wins the most important thing, and if I can contribute in any way I can, that's what I'm going to do. So if it's playing a little injured, playing a little hurt, that is what it is.
Their coach saw it the same way. Stephanie White called the collision brutal, but described Hull as unshakable. She said Hull never shows when she's hurt, she just gets up and competes on every possession, and that's exactly what she did.
Lexie Hull gets hit in the head there at the beginning of the game, comes back in. If you could just speak to her toughness and what it meant seeing her fight through what sure was not very pleasant.
I feel like Lexie's the definition of tough.
Yes.
I think when you just think of her as a player, the way that she hustles, she likes to get loose balls, extra offensive possessions. That's what she does. I mean, she got hit, she came back and just continued to contribute again. Was a pest on defense, just making her presence felt, offensive rebounds, and that's just who.
The numbers spoke for themselves. Hull finished with 9 rebounds and a team best minus of +31. Her grit and defense disrupted the Storm's flow. Even while filling into lineups that looked patched together, her return shifted the arenas. energy, showing that this wasn't just a game about surviving, it was about making a statement. That toughness set the stage for Boston, Sims, and Mitchell to take over.
Yeah, I mean, that was disgusting. I don't know if y'all saw it, but I mean, it's who she is. You know, she's just a tough young woman who battles every possession, and you know, you can never tell if Lexie if she's hurt, if she's injured, if she goes down, if she gets back up. She just always has the same expression, and she just plays her butt off. And you know, I'm thankful that it wasn't worse, and thankful that she was able to come back. But she really kind of epitomizes the toughness and the grit of this team.
With the guard rotation so thin, Indiana leaned on inside scoring. And Aliyah Boston made sure Seattle felt it on every possession. She put up 27 points, grabbed 9 rebounds, and made life miserable for anyone trying to defend her. You could see her setting deep position, using her body to carve out space, and finishing with the kind of force that forced the Storm to double team yet still come up short. When a star fully embraces the role of carrying an offense, the energy shifts, and Boston owned the paint like it belonged to her.